So if there's any definitive proof that mankind can screw up even the simplest of concepts or ideas needlessly so, Ultimate Gohan would be right the fuck up there. And to understand why Ultimate Gohan is broken, I have to explain how he works, because a lot of people are confused thanks to GT and Battle of Gods and kind of Resurrection F and really Dragon Ball Super around just what Ultimate Gohan is and how does he work. And in simplest terms, Ultimate Gohan in the context of Dragon Ball Z, the anime, and more importantly the Dragon Ball manga, is basically this. It is all of your power that you could ever attain through training, through various transformations, all available in your base form. So, all the power Gohan would need various Super Saiyan transformations to attain, like 1, 2, and 3, and whatever the hell. All of that power is freely available to him in his base form, and he cannot, let me reiterate this, he can fucking not transform to power himself up because he has attained the absolute upper limits of his power. He cannot stack any form of Super Saiyan on top of it. That is the whole point of Ultimate Gohan, that transformations are stupid and pointless and you shouldn't have to rely on them to get really powerful. Old Kai even says this. And the Buu Saga even shows how after a certain point, transformations just become a big hindrance than a help. For example, Super Saiyan 3 is a really noteworthy example in the franchise where Goku can flip 1 and 2 on and off and then beat the shit out of Vegeta in an even battle amongst the two of them and lose almost no time on Earth. But him just activating Super Saiyan 3 drains almost all of his time on Earth. And then in the Buu arc, when he's trying to power up to kill Kid Buu, the stress is too much on his body. And then we have Gotenks. Gotenks goes from having half an hour of time in base and Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2, and hypothetical Super Saiyan 2, and then all that time is just vanished to 5 minutes when he activates Super Saiyan 3. And that is the whole point of Ultimate Gohan, that using these big stressful transformations after a certain point isn't worth it. It isn't good for your body, and it isn't good combatively. And Gohan's ultimate or mystic state or fantastic Gohan or ultimate warrior or whatever the fuck you want to call it is all of that power freely available in your base state. And because Gohan has access to all of this power, he cannot get any stronger through transformations. Now, whether or not Gohan's potential is fixed after this point, whether or not he can keep going to Old Kai 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line to raise the upper ceiling of power is an ambiguous thing that I don't really want to discuss. However, the fact of the matter is that Ultimate Gohan is that. It is all your power in your base form, and you cannot stack Super Saiyan on top of it because you have nothing to power up anymore. You've hit the upper limits of your strength. And this is something that GT and Super have really, really screwed up, where Gohan can apparently stack Super Saiyan on top of it, and then people see that stuff and they think to themselves, oh, well, Gohan can stack Super Saiyan 1 and 2 on top of Ultimate, so that's fine. But that's not how it's supposed to work. That's a really big screw-up. And if you even look at the strengths in the Buu arc, Super Buu and Gotenks are fairly close to Gohan. They're not super close, but the gap between them can't be more than 2 times. So Gohan can't be any more than 2 times stronger than Super Buu to stomp on him. And so if Gohan could use Super Saiyan, he would have won the Buu arc. He would have just laughed in Buu-Tanks' face, used Super Saiyan, gotten 50 times stronger, and then he just would have finger-flicked Buu-Tanks into oblivion and won the Buu arc. That's a really good indication that it doesn't work like that, and it's not supposed to work like that. And GT is even weirder because GT has this thing where the GT perfect files say that Gohan kept on training, but he can stack Super Saiyan on top of Ultimate. It doesn't work. It doesn't make any freaking sense, and it shouldn't work. Super did kind of this weird thing where Gohan didn't lose all of his ultimate power in the Resurrection F arc the way he does seemingly in the film. It's kind of apparent that he's stronger than Piccolo in base, which is important because Beerus said that Namek Frieza at 100% is superior to base Saiyans, specifically base Goku, and then by extension base Goten, base Trunks, base Vegeta. And yeah, that's kind of where the base Saiyans were. And since Gohan is doing better against Tagoma than Piccolo, it is very apparent that Gohan does have some of his ultimate power in his base state, but he apparently needs to use Super Saiyan to reach that upper ceiling of power once more. But the latest arc is where things get really, really stupid. Because the whole thing with Ultimate Gohan, and I'm actually going to use pictures to identify this, is that Goku and Gohan, their eyes are not completely outlined. 3/4 of their eyes are outlined, but the portion of the eyes that is like closest to the nose, that's right next to the nose, has no outline. It's just kind of blank. But when they use Super Saiyan, or Ultimate, in Gohan's case, they become fully outlined. And Toriyama uses this as like a little visual cue to show you who the bad guys are. And if you look at all the bad guys like Frieza and Super Buu and Cell, and I guess even Piccolo would count there, they all have fully outlined eyes. And Toriyama used this little detail as like a visual signifier of, I guess, being badass, but originally Goku being like consumed by the Super Saiyan rage when he first attained the form on Namek against Frieza. And Ultimate Gohan does have fully outlined eyes. And when you compare the character sheets, I suppose, the character designs of Gohan through Super, he with his like geeky quote unquote look, he only has like 3/4 of his eyes outlined, and in the Resurrection F arc, he only has 3/4 of his eyes outlined once again. However, the Universe Survival arc kind of fucks this up, where his eyes are fully outlined, which means he is probably Ultimate, and yet in one of the latest episodes, he uses fucking Super Saiyan. That's not how it works. Stop doing it. See, it's really stupid because it's such a simple concept. It is all of the power you could get through several transformations available in base form. Like, I don't understand how the actual fuck they can keep screwing this up. And if they even gave like some kind of reason for it, for why Gohan can suddenly, I don't know, stack Super Saiyan on top of Ultimate, I would at least give them kudos for that much. But no, they just keep screwing it up. They give no good reason for it, and they keep doing it, and it's really, really annoying. And before someone calls me like a stupid Gohan fanboy, I want to just say this. I don't care for Gohan. A lot of people care for the guy. I don't. I find him really boring, really uninteresting. He had the potential to be a really interesting character, but Toriyama is not a very versatile character writer. A lot of his characters are very, very, very similar to one another. A lot of his protagonists are very similar to one another. And he's just not a super versatile writer when it comes to thinking of plots, or when it comes to writing characters. He very much fits the mold of that kind of saying where every writer is writing the same story over and over and over again, and they keep trying to perfect it. And Toriyama very, very much fits that mold. And Gohan is one of the best examples of that, where I feel like Gohan could have become a really unique character, and he kind of is in Super, but Super's writing is so half-assed and so haphazard that it just doesn't reach its full potential. And Gohan is actually one of the few characters in Super who actually has a logical next step to to reach for, but the show and Toriyama obviously are not interested in doing that, and that's a shame because Goku and Vegeta are very stagnant characters, and Gohan could actually amount to something in Super, but it's not going to happen. And I'm not even that much of a fan of the Ultimate State. I mean, the Ultimate State is probably the biggest example of Toriyama's writing style where simplicity over everything else just kind of fucks up, where Gohan literally sits on his ass for a day and then he becomes like the most powerful unfused character in the manga. I just don't like that. I like the idea of base being like the strongest form out of them all. Like instead of relying on copious transformations, you have all the power in your base form. I find that a really good idea. That's a really great concept. But I just don't like how Gohan gets it. I feel like if him attaining the form had some kind of mental training, some kind of intense mental training to raise his ki level above whatever his upper ceiling at the time was, I would probably like it a lot more, but he really does nothing but sit on his ass and wait for Old Kai to do it for him. And I also don't like the fact that what few interesting character traits Gohan has are completely destroyed by the Ultimate State, where he just becomes the generic quote-unquote badass from the Cell games, where he's overly cocky, where he's stoic, where he has absolutely nothing of his gentleness, of his desire for learning, his mercy, his pacifism, basically anything that makes Gohan unique and interesting, his Super Saiyan 2 self from the Cell games and Ultimate Gohan just completely shit on. So this is not me defending a favorite character of mine or defending a form or something that I really love from the series. This is just really one of those concepts, kind of like the character it's attached to, that had a lot of potential and with a bit more care could have really worked, but various people have fucked it up, and it's really annoying because it's so simple. I don't get how you can fuck it up so consistently. Like, the guy who wrote Battle of Gods, the movie, even complained that Gohan should not be a Super Saiyan. That doesn't work. GT screwed it up, and then they fixed it in Battle of Gods, and then they unfixed it in Super. Just why? Why can't you get anything right, modern Dragon Ball?